These days, it's hard to miss Shawn Butler, the fixed operations director at Bristol Honda, Johnson City Acura, and Johnson City Mazda. He's all over social media. His posts and his words of wisdom are really something to be found and also revered by a lot of our colleagues. So, Shawn Butler, great honor to have you with us today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Hey Ted, good to see you again. I always enjoy your programs and your support, and I love to participate and learn from all the great people that come on. So thank you.
And Shawn, thank you for your support as well. You have an amazing backstory. Um, I know you didn't just start off, running fixed ops for this big portion of the Umansky Auto Group. Shawn, tell us a little bit about Shawn Butler and where you came from and how you got here.
Sure. I started off in the late '80s as a vendor, doing interiors, paintless dent removal, painting bumpers. All that before that was a really big deal. But I made a really good living in my 20s doing that. And then my father, at the same time in the mid '90s, had started an import business. When I turned 30, he turned 50. He came to me and he said, "Shawn, I want you to get out of that business, come into mine. You got 5 years to learn my business. I'm going to retire when I'm 55. I'll sign over the shares to you. And when we do that, you'll just have to give me half of the partners split every year for the rest of my life." I was like, okay, fair enough. It's like a $50 million company. I can deal with that. And, but he had 3 minority partners. So he passed away at age 54 before all that could come to fruition. And so kind of at age 36, 37, I had to start over again when the other partners decided to go a different direction after my father passed. So I got back in the car business and I became an advisor, did very well, became a lane manager, left the dealership environment to run an independent where I learned how to do all things, right? Parts and the payrolls and the hiring and the taxes and all these different metrics that I would have never learned just as an advisor. So it made me smarter when I got back into the dealership environment, and I quickly became a manager, service manager, service director, number 2 guy, a really, really brilliant guy that tutored me well. And he said to me one day, and he said, "Shawn," he said, "you want my seat? Come take my seat." And I was like, okay, but I didn't realize at first that he didn't mean his seat. But if I wanted to be like him, I had to invest more and learn more. And so I did, and studied under him. And one day, he said, "You're going to leave me." And I was like, "No, I love it here," And 90 days later, I had an offer to start do my own thing. And I kind of used everything I learned to become like a fixer, if you will, right? So going into situations where the outlook wasn't so glorious, and taking those things and instilling process, structure, and organization along with personalization and your relationships with your employees, and building the whole thing up to where at this point now have done like 4 kind of rebuilds, if you want to call it that. And this one's being the 4th one. The first 3 are still running successful. That's a good thing, right? If you did it the right way and you instilled all the processes and you trained your replacement properly, everything runs smoothly. Those all stores are still doing pretty well, and I'm pretty proud of that. And, I like a challenge, and here I am in East Tennessee.
Something about us people in retail, a lot of times in life, not just in business, but in life, Shawn, we got to start over, right? And that's not always a fun thing to do. But I know a lot of times that also makes us stronger, right? And there's some rewards that can be found in that. What do you think about that?
I do. One of the things that probably most people that know me, like through social media or in the last like 12 years, let's call it, what they don't know is that I went through a very dark depression and like a 7-year addiction. And to where I pretty much went from living on Park Avenue to living on the park bench. Right. And so one day I just said, "Lord, I'm tired of living like this. I got to change, and something's got to give." And, it got lifted off of me. And ever since then, that's when life's been a lot better because of all those experiences. right? Of how to
Mhm.
relate to everybody from one end of the street to the other.
Isn't it amazing how in retail automotive, we come across a lot of people who, who maybe weren't so lucky, right? Who fell into that trap and, weren't able to come out, positively on the other side. But we've seen all that. And, today, here you are. Shawn, what are you passionate about? What drives you?
I'm probably the most passionate thing that drives me is seeing other people
Mm,
achieve what success means to them. It can be different for everybody, right? Some people want education, some people want recognition, some people want more money, some people want more family time. Helping those people achieve what matters to them probably gives me the most joy. Watching people who want to be master tech start off in express, and then when they hit master tech status, watching people get married, have children, buy their first house. You know what? I had a small little piece in that, helping them push towards getting that. That's very, very rewarding.
Would you say that you're easy to talk to, on a personal level? You got a lot of employees there. I see the posts with you on social media, a lot of the photos you've got highlighting your team, your staff, their personal stories. But how about you? Are you easy to speak to? And what would you say?
I would say the obvious answer is yes, but probably not at first. I've been told that a lot of people are intimidated by me at the first time because I create a presence where, all right, this is the way we're going to do it. This is how we're going to get there. And this is, you got to share the vision, the goals, and each person's role. And so until they actually get to spend some one-on-one time, I try to make sure that I'm always talking to people going around through the shop, in the lane, talking to customers on a daily basis, multiple times a day. Once they see those interactions, then they realize like, hey, you know what? And I always make sure that I have an open door policy. I don't care if it's personal, business, whatever it is. Please come talk to me, because if you can do it wrong, I've probably done it wrong at least twice. So therefore, I have some experience, right? And I'm willing to listen to where you're at in this situation.
There was a saying I heard a couple years ago that success in life is a result of good judgment. Good judgment is the result of experience, and experience is a result of poor judgment. And it all kind of comes back to that. Shawn, looking out right now, what would you say today? How do you handle stress and pressure? Because look, I don't know a fixed ops director, service manager, parts manager, technician who doesn't have, some degree of that pressure and stress on them.
Well, the beautiful thing about having and building relationships is so I reach out to people that have more experience than me,
Yeah.
that are smarter than me, that make more money than me. All of these things, people that I look up to, right? I look up to as
Mhm.
mentors or people that can help me. So I have a good network of people. The real honest answer is not much bothers me because what we worry about yesterday probably won't matter. I frame it, does it matter 3 months from now, right? If it doesn't matter 3 months from now, I'm not renting headspace to it.
What motivates you?
My family, the family, I feel a sense of duty to take care of my family in the way that my father took care of his family, right? I had a really, really shining example. And then again, my people, right? The people, I have a sense of duty to everybody. I have 74 employees here
Mhm.
between the two locations, right? And I've got to be on point. There's days when I feel like crap. I don't feel like doing anything, or I just want to hide out. I can't
Mhm.
be that. I don't have them days,
Yeah.
right? I have to be on point every day
On
to
point.
set the pace for the team.
Yeah, you're the leader. And the leader sets the pace. So, Shawn, here we are, last week of January, and this is my last question, by the way. As you look out over the year ahead, we've had an interesting last couple of years, especially this last one. What do you see ahead? What's your forecast? What do you got a lot of peers watching today, looking up to you for your guidance, for your leadership, for your advice. What would you say? What would you recommend to the retail managers and leaders watching you today?
I would say that with the way that the market went for the last 2 or 3 years during the pandemic area of people buying cars, and guess what? They're owners now because the way the market has corrected, right? So there's people that are very what they call upside down in cars, so they're going to have no choice but to service and maintenance them. It's up to us to operate with honesty and integrity, but more importantly, drill down on the processes and the services that we're already paying for that we're using. Make sure we're utilizing all of the tools at hand 100% to create the best employee experience, which in turn creates the best customer experience, right? It's going to be more important than ever to cultivate our employees and to elevate them in such a manner that they elevate everyone around them, which transcends the whole dealership environment, right? All four parts, used car sales, new car sales, parts and service, have to work together to make for a successful dealership. When people come in the door, they don't see Ted Ing's parts department. They don't see Ted's, used car sales. They see Ted Ing's automotive, right? I mean, it's just it's one store. So we have to think like that. And for years, it's always been a butting heads type of thing. And each department kind of fights each other. And I think we're successful for the future is making sure that it's one operation. That's going to be the key to success.
And how's the future look for fixed operations looking forward to this year?
It's going to be awesome. There's a lot of new products out there. I'm a little bit of a wait and see kind of guy. I like to master all the things we're already involved in, but there's a lot of nice things going on, right? I mean, I think the video inspection is going to become just a mainstay standard across all brands, all lines, no matter demographics or not. I see that's something we've already implemented it at one store, and I'm bringing it to the other one next month. And the different devices like your UBIs and your traction, those kind of devices that are analyzing the cars when they come in are going to become more and more prevalent because we found ways to cross use them like into the sales and service both. It's not just for one or the other. So there's a lot of things that we're going to find ways to work smarter with and utilize this new technology and stuff.
Hey, Shawn, I look forward to checking back with you during this year and finding out how we're doing. And on behalf of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, Shawn Butler, thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Ted. I appreciate all you do. And I love this industry, and I'm always here. I'm available on LinkedIn. People reach out to me, all the time. And I'm always happy to help if I can. If I can't, I'll find you somebody that can help you. I probably know a guy or a girl.
Shawn Butler, one of the great leaders in our fixed operations industry, here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.